Hi, and welcome to another edition of Legally Insane News. I'm your host, Kyle O'Donnell. This particular interview is going to be a short one, and the shortness is actually kind of the point. It's an interesting and very telling interview. It's not telling for what Miss Cowell does say, but actually for what she doesn't say. But anyway, this interview is with the former vice mayor of Quartzsite. If you're listening and you haven't watched the Big Trouble in Little Quartzsite documentary that I released recently, Barbara Cowell is among the establishment candidates in the earlier days of the council when the conflict started kind of percolating. And she was one of the few council members that I was able to find. The rest of them seemed to have scattered to the wind after the exposition of their alleged embezzlement of tax fund coffers. And Barbara Cowell, I think she probably just got caught answering the phone to some strange number and just answered anyway. And otherwise, at the time I was trying to find everybody. I couldn't get anybody on a phone who had allegations standing against them, who were former council members. So I don't know. I think Ms. Cowell and I, she was pleasant enough, but yeah, if you actually listen to what she says in this very short documentary, you'll kind of hear what I mean about the tight-lipped, I'm not answering my phone, I'm not answering any questions type of stonewalling, I guess would be a good way to opine what they're doing. So in any case, back at the time that I was actually filming this, the wounds were still kind of fresh. They were about a half a decade old, but the town really hadn't. It was reeling from, the armed march by the Oath Keepers and lots of other people. And I'll also say that when I was reaching out to Ms. Cowell, this was at the very, very beginning. I think I had maybe filmed for a couple of weeks or something in Quartzsite, and I had not interviewed more than one or two people. I think Alex Taft might have been my second or third interview, and Barbara Cowell was the one who put me on to her. And it's another thing that's interesting, that what you'll hear is either the people want to talk and they're really excited about it, and they're like, oh my God, I've got this crazy story for you, and here's another so-and-so that I know who also has a crazy story. Here's their number. Or they don't, like, at this point in my filming, I was still thinking I was filming like a nomadic movement documentary in van lifers and bus lifers and stuff. And so when I introduced myself as a documentary filmmaker, I was still kind of focused on that, but also on the history of Quartzsite. And those that did not want to talk, like vehemently did not want to talk or avoided any contact or anything like that, those are the ones that are tight-lipped. Those are the ones that are saying things like Ms. Cowell says here, like, you can't believe the rumors. There's tons of people that'll lie to you. She was basically priming me to have an anti-Cowell or anti-council rhetoric, which is extremely interesting for someone who did not want to tell me what the truth was, right? Like, why prime me for a presupposed notion that whoever I talk to is lying if you're not therefore willing to just tell me what you believe is the truth? Like clear the air, prep me for, why don't you tell me what the lies you expect I'll hear are going to reveal, and then tell me what the real questions are that I should be asking. The other part was, I started off, it was a very pleasant interaction. No part of this was like rude or awkward, but it was like when I was friendly and still kind of in the mode of making that nomadic life, van life, etc. type of documentary, she still didn't want to lead into, like, I kind of assume, and this is just an assumption, it's just speculation, it's my opinion, but it almost seems like she she kind of figured it would just lead into the political stuff. Sure. Or whatever. It struck me as though she didn't want to have any conversation whatsoever, because there's a possibility that it could lead down the road to, the political conversation, what I might hear, I don't know, maybe she thought she might slip up or, reveal something. I don't know. I'll never know. But, that's what's more interesting about this interview than anything else. The shortness, the fact that she was slightly helpful, but also kind of, presupposing a campaign of lies that I'll run into, all kinds of rumors that I'll hear, it's all very interesting. And again, I'm just speculating, but, I'll let you decide for yourself. Those questions in mind. This is my short and sweet interview with Barbara Cowell, the vice mayor of Quartzsite in the years of conflict.
Hello, this is Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. My name is Cowell O'Donnell. I'm a documentary filmmaker, and I'm shooting a documentary around Quartzsite currently. It's about like the nomadic movement and kind of bus life, van life, the new kind of era of the nomadic movement and things. And I've wound up in Quartzsite to shoot the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous and the Schoolie Palooza and a couple other things. And finding out more about Quartzsite, I've ended up staying here for the last few weeks to shoot a variety of different shots and the people, and it just seems to keep getting more and more quirky and fun. So I'm just kind of chasing it down the rabbit hole. And your name came up as somebody who might be good to interview as well. And I was curious if you might possibly want to interview.
No, I'm pretty busy. I do know a lot about Quartzsite, but I'm really, really busy right now because I'm a realtor. So
sure.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, you were also, as I understand it, and actually I don't understand it very well, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that you were part of the town council a few years ago.
About 6 years ago.
Okay. And there was another, and I keep being told this is a female, but her name is Alex. Do you know?
Yes.
Okay. I can't seem to find her, and I'm trying to track her down too to see if she might be interested as well. Do you know how to contact Alex?
I do have a phone number for her. She works for the in Parker.
Oh, okay. It's what, like a half an hour away?
In Parker, yes.
Okay.
But she lives here. She does live here.
Oh, okay.
Now she has a memory and a half.
Well, I'm happy to include her. I'm just kind of I'm wrapping up my shots here. I've been here for a few weeks, and I'd love to stay my budget. I'm kind of at the end of that to do this before I head out to. There's a homeless veteran thing going on in Slab City, and then San Diego has just recently overturned in January actually a law or a city ordinance making it legal to effectively live in your car on the streets. So I'm going to hit those two, and I want to make sure I've got enough budget for that. But yeah, if I can get in touch with a few more people before I head out of town, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you want to be sure of what they're telling you too, that it's true.
What? Oh, I mean, from the people in Quartzsite?
Uh-huh.
Oh, is there a risk of being lied to?
Oh, yes. Rumors. Everybody believes the rumors.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
Like the mayors have not been shot and, stuff like that. So.
Ah, okay. Well, I was able to Google a few things. I mean, I don't know anything other than what's kind of currently available online. I haven't gotten too in depth with it, but yeah, I mean, I heard there was some strife, some political stuff and whatnot. I haven't heard anybody getting shot though. That's a new one for me.
Yeah. It was years and years and years and years back supposedly, but it wasn't. it didn't happen. So.
Yeah, like a high noon showdown.
No, no, not no. It's just rumors.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've heard over 50 years. I've heard a lot of rumors. So that come up and I say no, it's not true. No, it's not true. So, anyway, Alex Taft. Like I said, she works for in Parker, but she does live in Quartzsite, and she was the town manager.
All right. I may be here throughout the weekend. I don't know if my number came up, but I can't imagine it taking more than 20 minutes. I've got just like a handful of questions. I mean, even if we could just sit down for a little bit, I'm not saying I don't have sufficient interviews. I've got good stuff, but I'd rather be able to throw away interviews that I don't need rather than need interviews that I don't have. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Understand.
And your name is literally on one of the streets here, as I've heard.
Yes, my husband's family's been here since 1916.
Wow. So I'm just going to reiterate that question. If you change your mind and have 20 minutes somewhere between now and probably the weekend, feel free to call.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Cowell. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.